Today in this video, we're going to be talking about one of the godfathers of the online fitness industry. It's more like the grandfather of the fitness industry because he's surprisingly really old. Who is he? How did he get that Greek godlike physique? And most importantly, why does he look like a mix of Prince Charming from Shrek and handsome Squidward? Stay tuned as I answer these questions and more in this video. Mike is an iconic bodybuilder in the fitness industry that has accomplished so much in his life, but still keeps a low profile online. Despite his countless accomplishments throughout his lifetime, he's more known for his hot takes, like repeatedly emphasizing that he's a lifetime natural, selling his freeze-dried duck eggs for $700, selling a $1,500 ab wheel, and giving out what I would say in plain terms dog fitness advice from time to time. Oh, and you can't forget the legendary memes. I've listened to a couple of creators in the past, such as Greg Doucette and More Plates, More Dates, that talk about Michael Hearn and some of the crazy advice he gives to his followers and the fact that he lies about what he may or may not be taking. I never gave Mike much thought until I started doing research on my own, and then I started to realize there's more to him than just a mix of Prince Charming and handsome Squidward. Despite all the lies of doing steroids and the shady products being sold, if you peel back the layers, you get to realize that Mike's actually a passionate guy that actually cares about his audience and fans. This video is going to be a little bit all over the place. I'm going to say some positive things about him, I'm going to say some negative things, and I'm going to leave it up to you to decide what you think about him. Despite not competing in a bodybuilding competition in over a decade, Mike still maintains a phenomenal physique year-round. It's kind of weird because while the average person is trying to cut and bulk year after year, Mike's just cutting and cutting and cutting, all while maintaining his size and strength. And yes, that's right, he's natural. Of course, there's thousands of bodybuilders online that have their IFBB pros that look ridiculously shredded. But the thing that stands out to me that makes Michael Hearn so different is the fact that he's been doing it for such a long time. I mean, guess how old this guy is? This dude's 55 years old, putting up ridiculous weight. Check out his max stats. He's a 4-time Mr. Natural Universe winner, a 4-time powerlifting champion, and an Ironman Decathlon of Strength strongman champion. His strongest recorded lifts came from the 1993 ADFPA California State Championships, where he squatted 650 pounds, bench pressed 451 pounds, deadlift 705 for a total of 1,800 pounds. And if you're curious, he won the 110 kilogram category and placed second overall. Who was first? Fucking Superman? You know, the average bodybuilder is strong. They got muscles, they've been working out for maybe 5 years or so. They got a decent amount of experience under their belt. But it's not every day you see a fucking 50-year-old shoulder pressing 315 pounds. Like, my shoulders would literally explode just thinking about that too much. I mean, to me, shoulder pressing even 135 is pretty impressive because a lot of people have issues with their shoulders, especially when it comes to overhead stuff like this. On incline, my shoulders start to act up a little bit from time to time. Not impressed by the 315 shoulder press? What about the behind the neck 315 shoulder press? This guy's an absolute mutant. Regardless of if you think Michael Hearn takes steroids or not, we still gotta appreciate the raw strength that this guy still has. It's actually a common misconception to think that if you take steroids, you're gonna be able to lift ridiculous amount of weights. It's not always the case. We're not always blessed with genes that work or mesh well with steroids. There's guys out there injecting themselves or taking, orals, and they got the arms of Slim Jims. We're not always blessed like that. Steroids can make it easier for you to put on muscle, and it will give you a little bit of size, but it still has to do with your genetics at the end of the day. And his lifts are even crazier when you put into consideration this guy's age. I don't mean to this guy, but check this out right here. He does 315 for 11 reps. On his chest day, he also does a decline chest fly with 105-pound dumbbells. I don't know about you guys, but if I was to try that, my chest muscle would come off the bone like a tender piece of steak. My point is, the type of strength that Michael Hearn has, you can't just get from PEDs alone. A good of that comes from the man upstairs. Or woman. Could be a lady. The other thing that stands out to me about Mike is how simple and straightforward his videos are. With such a large following and all the accomplishments that he's made online on YouTube and Instagram, you'd think that he's got this huge production team and with the special effects and the best video camera and amazing high quality videos. Not to say that he's not doing anything great, but his videos are very straightforward and it kind of reminds me of Sam. I don't know if it's like a common thing, but it's usually Mike, his wife, and I'm assuming his editing guy just making comments on his lifts. The level of glazing going on in this video is unmatched.
Lift 2, Great hand positioning, though.
You like that?
Really getting into it. Look at the intensity in the eyes.
Ooh, I'm ready to go.
And you say, Mona, let's get it.
Give me some of that. Whoop.
I do my job and I'm out of teatro.
Another thing I want to highlight about Mike is his longevity. Did you know he's famous, by the way? You didn't know that, did you? If you're under the age of 20, you may not have heard of the show American Gladiators, but it was a hit show that happened in the 80s and they brought it back in like the early 2000s. It's pretty much a show where contestants went head to head against gladiators, aka big ass and strong men and women that looked exactly like Michael Hearn. Like I said, it was a show that aired from 1989 to 1996, and the sole job of these gladiators was to beat the living out of contestants, and boy were they good at it. The show made a revival in 2008, and guess what? Michael Hearn was in both of those shows. So I'm telling you, the show aired from 1989 to 96. And this dude came back like a whole decade later, looking the exact same, ready to kick ass again. He's like the first vampire gym bro. He's got something going on, some sort of superpower. He must be feasting on the blood of those that can't bench 315 because he never ages. Jesus Christ. Damn, Mike, give him a chance. What's so perplexing about Mike and his longevity is that he loves to lift heavy. If you watch any of his videos, a lot of times he's doing anywhere from 4 to 6 reps of heavy ass weight. Sometimes even 80 to 90% of his 1 rep max. That puts a lot of stress on your joints and tendons. For some reason, it doesn't seem to bother Mike because he's been lifting heavy like this for like over 2 decades. You gotta give Mike some credit. This dude has been consistent for a very long time. Just check out this video he made with bodybuilding.com back in the day.
How you guys doing? Michael Hearn here. I'm up here with bodybuilding.com. You might know me as Titan from American Gladiators. And they wanted me to talk to you guys about a little thing I call power bodybuilding. What? What the
I don't know if you guys noticed, but this video was made 14 years ago. Ever since then, Mike has just gotten leaner, bigger, and stronger. Totally normal. Okay, so now we know a little bit about Michael Hearn, but where did this sexy beast come from? Comment down below if you knew about Michael Hearn before watching this video. If you're a regular viewer and you like his content, that's okay, I'm not gonna judge. Watching one of his videos is like watching a mukbang. Is it entertaining? Absolutely. Can you learn something from it? Probably not. Mike grew up in Kirkland, Washington, and is the youngest of 9 brothers and sisters. Fitness was a way of life. His father was a bodybuilder and his mom was a fitness enthusiast. At the age of 13, Mike started bodybuilding, powerlifting, and practicing martial arts. In his family's home gym, lucky bastard, Mike was instilled with the knowledge of not only how to build his body, but also his mind. Seeing his parents push themselves in the gym taught Mike about hard work, consistency, and discipline. See, that's goals right there. Throughout the years, Mike kept training, competing in local bodybuilding events until his first big break happened when he caught the attention of Joe Weider. You know, I did so much research on this guy, Joe, and I still don't know how to say his last name right. Weider? I don't know, you guys let me know down below. The godfather of bodybuilding and the founder of the Mr. Olympia competition. And let me just let you guys know, this guy, Joe, was a big deal. He was not only the founder of the Mr. Olympia competitions, but also, you know, those famous magazines like, I don't know, Muscle and Fitness. He was one of the guys that founded that. He was also the one that found Arnold Schwarzenegger and helped Arnold to make a name for himself. When talking about his first interaction with Joe, Mike recalls, I was walking through the auditorium and Joe Weider called me over and he said, "You're a monster. Look at you. I want you in my magazine." I can feel the creepiness just reading those words. Like, dude was a little too excited. This reminds me of those moments back in high school when football coaches would approach like students that look athletic that aren't on the football team.
Excuse me, sir, do you know where homeroom 102 is? Yes, I do. Homeroom 102 would be that way. Okay, cool, appreciate it. Oh, hold on. Are you a student? Yeah, I just moved here. Do you play any sports? Hell no. Why not? You're freaking huge.
Happened to me a handful of times. Weider stayed true to his word. He flew Mike out of Los Angeles and took pictures of the young stud for a cover. Weeks later, Weider offered Michael Hearn a contract. The Washington State native decided to take the plunge and relocated to Los Angeles. He never left, and the rest is history. He received national notoriety, being featured in countless magazines and even acted. Man, that's not fair. He was at the right place at the right time to meet the right person. I wish that can happen to me. Like, I wish I can just stumble upon Usain Bolt and he's like, "Jonathan, I will teach you the ways to be the second fastest person in the world." And I'd be like, hell yeah, bro, that sounds perfect. And then he'll also teach me how to lose $12 million in a bank scam. I think everyone that has an IQ higher than that of a room temperature water can agree that Michael Hearn is not natural. Regardless of the reason why Mike would never, oh no, damn it. Regardless of the reason why Mike will never tell the truth, the fact is, he's fooling people into thinking that what he has is achievable naturally. Thank God we have our savior, Kenny KO, to track down and interrogate liars like Mike. And let me tell you something, Mike was running for the hills. I've talked about Kenny KO in a previous video where he challenged Hiba Ali to recreate her 1,000-pound wall sit, where she accepted the challenge, where she folded like a dollar bill in the strip club. I also made that same joke in that video. Go check it out. But you see, Mike is different than other influencers like Hiba. This man can talk in circles. In his video titled Calling Out Michael Hearn in Person, Kenny tried using all of his interview tactics to finally make Mike crack and admit that he's taking some sort of steroids, but this man did not budge. I swear, he really is following the steps of Arnold like a politician, because this guy can talk and say nothing at all. I'm not going to go into details about the video, but if you're interested, go check it out. There's some points in there when Kenny had Mike up against the wall and it looked like he was going to finally crack, but somehow Mike managed to spin it.
We got to clap though. So is the legend, the Titan, still natty?
Well, no. I've never been natty, right? Isn't that what they're saying?
But this video isn't the first time that Kenny interviewed Mike during a fitness expo. Kenny's been on Mike's ass like white on rice for like a couple years just trying to get this guy to crack.
Pause.
And Mike, if you just so happen to be watching this, I just want you to know that it's okay. You can come out of the gym closet. Everyone else already knows. Oh, I also find that it's very interesting how Mike managed to talk himself out of the situation while looking absolutely zooted out of his mind. That's something we're going to be talking about later in the video. Another popular YouTuber that constantly calls out Mike for his bullshit is Greg Doucette, aka Mr.
Harder than last time.
The two have been going at it for years, with Greg calling Mike a fake natty and saying that he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about when it comes to working out. Mike, on the other hand, calls Greg a hater, a hobbit, and a manlet because he's short, and when he gets excited, his voice gets really high. It's kind of like a schoolgirl. Watching these two bicker online have been so entertaining to me. It's like watching two uncles that know how to use the computer just go at it.
Hobbit, he's not in shape now when he's 20 years younger than you. It's like, stop giving advice.
And so, Mike, I'm betting the fans would like to see our comparisons of our blood work as well as a fitness competition. And if you don't believe me, I challenge you to some kind of a fitness competition. Clearly, I would demolish you, would be embarrassed.
I'm curious though, how many of you guys follow Greg and watch his videos regularly? I know some people hate him and have like their own gripes about him, but he's kind of entertaining from time to time. So what are some of the bad advice that Mike has told his audience? Well, he said multiple times that doing cardio is not important for your health and you should only be doing it in your cutting season. If you want to put on real size, you gotta eat a lot of food, like 4,000 calories and up. He's also got a history of selling sketchy products like anti-aging nutraceuticals. Anytime I see a product that's being endorsed by like a celebrity or an influencer and I see words that you can't pronounce, run for the hills. Freeze-dried duck eggs with vital nutrients for $700. He was also selling an ab wheel for a measly $1,500. So I was curious. I went to his website to look these products up. Gone. They were probably selling out too fast. I'm not sure if this is the same thing as the first anti-aging thing that he sold, but he also sold an anti-aging cream, so everyone can have that perpetually stretched out and surprised look that he has on his face. And you know, some of his loyal followers were eating this shit up, saying like, oh my god, I can't wait to try this, while others were surprisingly keeping it real. You know, it takes a lot to look this good in your 50s, you know, regardless if he's taking PEDs or not. But, you know, we gotta talk about the elephant in the room. His fucking face. Mike's a handsome dude, we can admit that, but I feel like he's a little too handsome, you know what I'm saying? I just don't understand. When people get money and they start aging, it's like they don't get the memo from other people that took money and up their face like, dude, you don't have to do this, I actually regret it. Don't make yourself look like you're always surprised. But no, they always go ahead and do the same thing like everyone else and then end up looking like seriously, it's okay to age gracefully and have some wrinkles here and there. Seeing people with Mike's face reminds me of that episode on SpongeBob when Mermaid Man got his face pulled back and stapled. It looks painful. Speaking of faces, when I first started doing research for this video, I stumbled upon one of his uploads called What I'm Eating to Be in Ridiculous Shape in 55. And my man's looked a little off.
It's one of those, if you guys are dieting, this is the universe diet. So this is that back to the 99% ground turkey. That's why it's cool that you got to keep changing it. Keep learning the body. Right, Doc? It's true. Doc knows about it.
Now look me in the eyes and tell me that this man was not on booger sugar, or what Greg would call sniffing creatine. It's just my observation, but from my life experience so far, your body's not supposed to be in fight or flight mode when you're in the kitchen cooking. Of all the famous bodybuilders online, Mike is perhaps one of the most memed of them all. And it's not because of something that he doesn't make a funny face. It's just who he is. I don't know how to explain it. It's like his face is just too symmetrical. He has the perfect jawline, like I keep saying. He looks like handsome Squidward, and it's the perfect concoction for hilarious memes for many years to come. Regardless of whether you're a Michael Hearn follower or not, there's some lessons to be learned from him. 1. Besides the steroids, consistency is key, and it can take you a long way. 2. Just because someone has a great physique doesn't mean that they know what the hell they're talking about. And most importantly, 3. Mike looks like Homelander. Homelander for president.